The donkey kick, when a free kick routine broke football. October 1970, Coventry City versus Everton, first division match. Everything seems normal until Willie Carr steps up to a free kick just outside the box. Then he does something nobody's ever seen before. Carr grips the ball between his ankles. Yes, his ankles, flicks it backward into the air like a donkey would kick, and Ernie Hunt absolutely destroys it on the volley. The ball rockets past Andy Rankin's helpless dive and into the net. The crowd loses it. John Motson on Match of the Day calls it an original piece of football impudence. Everton's players stand there looking like they've just witnessed a magic trick they can't explain. The goal won BBC Goal of the Season, Coventry won 3-1, and football authorities immediately went into panic mode. By the end of the season, the move was officially banned. The reason? Carr maintained sustained contact with the ball rather than just touching it to set it in motion. The rulebook said the ball had to move its full circumference before a second touch. Carr's ankle catapult violated that principle, so the donkey kick became a one-and-done phenomenon, too clever for its own good, too creative for the comfort of officials who prefer football to be predictable. Carr and Hunt practiced that routine for weeks. They pulled it off once, and they'll never be able to do it again. Worth it? Absolutely. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 99% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. The seal dribble, when defenders started throwing elbows. Imagine you're a centre-back. The winger gets the ball, flicks it onto his forehead, and starts running, bouncing it on his head like a performing seal while you stand there wondering what the hell you're supposed to do. That was Kerlon, Brazilian midfielder, early 2000s, YouTube sensation before YouTube sensations were even a thing. The move was simple in concept, impossible to defend. Kerlon would chip the ball onto his head and sprint downfield, keeping it bouncing while defenders lost their minds trying to figure out how to stop him without committing a foul. Go low, you're kicking him in the face, red card. Go high, you're nowhere near the ball. Try to jostle him, that's a foul. The seal dribble was basically a cheat code. Defenders responded the only way they knew how. Violence. September 2007. Derby match. Cruzeiro versus Atlético Mineiro. Kerlon pulls out the seal dribble. Atletico defender Diego Coelho's response. A vicious elbow straight to Kerlon's face. Coelho got a 120-day ban, later reduced to 5 matches on appeal. Kerlon got a trip to the hospital, and football lawmakers got a problem they couldn't ignore. The rule changed. Referees could now penalize the seal dribble under unsporting behavior, not because it's illegal, but because it makes defenders so desperate they resort to assault. Think about that. They didn't ban the move for breaking the rules. They banned it because defending it broke rules. Kerlon later told The Athletic his dad helped him invent the move as a kid. They looked up the laws and confirmed it was legal. But legal doesn't mean football authorities won't find a way to kill it. Kerlon's career, by the way, ended at 29 after 6 ACL surgeries. Turns out when you humiliate grown men with circus tricks, they take it personally. His body paid the price. The paradinha, the penalty that made goalkeepers look stupid. Brazil, land of Joga Bonito, home of creativity, and birthplace of the penalty technique that made keepers want to quit the sport. The paradinha, literally little stop, was simple but devastating. Run up to take the penalty, pause mid-stride, wait for the keeper to dive, then calmly slot it the other way. Pelé did it. Didi perfected it. Decades later, Neymar brought it back with maximum swagger, making European goalkeepers look like they were auditioning for a comedy sketch. Keepers were being psychologically tortured, crowd humiliated, turned into memes before memes existed. FIFA had enough by 2010. New rule, you can feint during your run-up. You cannot stop after completing your run-up. If you do, the penalty is cancelled, you get a yellow card, and the keeper gets to keep their dignity. The paradinha didn't break the game, it broke egos, and that apparently was worse. Brazilian players argued it was just another expression of their football culture, improvisation, creativity, mind games. FIFA said it crossed the line between skill and mockery. The debate continues. Was it genius or gamesmanship? Either way, it's now illegal. The rainbow flick. When showboating becomes a yellow card. Roll the ball up the back of your calf. Flick it over your own head in an arc. Watch it sail over the defender. Bask in the glory. The rainbow flick is one of football's most audacious tricks. Pull it off cleanly and you're an artist. Miss it and you look ridiculous. Neymar turned it into his signature move. In Brazil, fans worshipped it. In Europe, fans and referees wanted to ban him. Copa del Rey final. Barcelona are already winning comfortably against Athletic Bilbao. Late in the match, Neymar tries a rainbow flick near the touchline. Bilbao players explode with rage, confronting him on the spot. In League One, referees actually booked him for it. Not because the rainbow flick breaks any law of the game, but because officials deemed it provocative or unsporting behavior. Here's the absurdity. The move is technically legal, but referees have discretion to punish it if they think you're disrespecting opponents. So the rainbow flick exists in football purgatory, allowed by the rulebook, banned by referee judgment calls. Whether you get away with it depends on the score, the ref's mood, and how thin-skinned your opponents are. Showboating has always divided opinion. Some see it as football's soul, the creativity that makes the sport beautiful. Others see it as disrespectful trash talk with your feet. Neymar's position? I'm just playing football. Fair enough. But apparently, playing too beautifully is a bookable offense. The flip throw-in, gymnastics meets football. Imagine defending a throw-in, normal stuff. Routine, then the opposing player grabs the ball, does a complete front flip, and launches it 40 yards into your penalty box like a guided missile. Welcome to the flip throw-in, part football, part Olympic gymnastics, part why is this allowed? American defender Michael Lewis popularized it in the 1990s. The technique gives you insane distance, further than most corner kicks. It turns a simple throw-in into a dangerous set piece. Here's where it gets controversial. The laws say both feet must be on the ground at release, and the ball must come from behind your head. The flip throw-in uses the ground as a springboard, with the player launching off it mid-rotation. Most referees allow it if your feet touch down right as the ball releases, but purists argue it violates the spirit of the rule even if it technically doesn't break the letter of the law. So, is it legal? Kind of. Should it be banned? Maybe. Will you look absolutely ridiculous if you try it and mess up? Definitely. The flip throw-in remains football's weirdest loophole, technically within the rules, but so far outside normal expectations that it feels like cheating. The penalty pass, the ultimate mind game. Taking a penalty is already high pressure. Now imagine this. Instead of shooting, you roll it sideways to a teammate. The keeper dives, the defenders freeze, your teammate buries it. Chaos. The penalty pass is football's version of a con. Johan Cruyff and Jesper Olsen pioneered it for Ajax in 1982, creating instant folklore. Decades later, Messi and Suarez revived it for Barcelona in 2016, sending the Camp Nou into absolute pandemonium. But it doesn't always work. Ask Thierry Henry and Robert Pires. They tried it for Arsenal against Manchester City in 2005 and completely botched the execution. Pires barely touched the ball. The crowd laughed. Memes were born. The move isn't illegal as long as the ball moves forward and someone else takes the shot. But it's a massive gamble. Execute it perfectly and you're a genius. Mess it up and you're a meme forever. For goalkeepers, it feels fundamentally unfair. For teammates, it's a trust exercise. For fans, it's either brilliant or catastrophic. There's no middle ground. The low header. Bravery or insanity? Picture this. A loose ball bouncing near the ground, boots flying everywhere, and you decide the smart move is to dive head first into the danger zone. The low header, also called the down ground header, is football's ultimate test of courage. Get your head to the ball before an opponent's boot does, and you're a hero. Mistime it, and you're looking at studs to the skull. Referees despise these moments. If no contact happens, they'll blow for an indirect free kick and call it playing in a dangerous manner. If contact does happen, cards start flying, usually at the player swinging the boot, even though you were the one who put your face in the way. The rulebook basically says, bravery is admirable, but risking your own skull isn't smart football. It's the kind of play coaches might applaud in the moment, but referees are trained to shut down immediately for safety reasons. Is it worth it? Ask anyone who's taken a boot to the face and the answer is probably no. But in the heat of the match, logic goes out the window. The running knee lock. Freestyle's failed crossover. In street football and freestyle videos, you'll sometimes see players trap the ball between both knees while running, locking it in place like it's glued there. Looks cool, totally impractical in a real match. Why? You're slow, you're stiff, you can't pass or shoot. Defenders don't need to guess your next move, they just wait for you to run out of space. And there's the safety issue. Charging down the pitch with your knees clamped together is an invitation for collisions, studs, and very awkward landings. The running knee lock has never taken off in professional football because it violates common sense. It's not explicitly banned, but referees could easily call it playing in a dangerous manner, the same rule that covers low headers and risky overhead kicks. It's one of those skills that stays in YouTube compilations and never makes it to the Premier League, for good reason. The pattern. Why football kills creativity. Notice something, most of these skills aren't banned because they're illegal. They're banned because they're too effective. The seal dribble couldn't be defended legally. The paradinha made keepers look stupid. They embarrass opponents. The rainbow flick and showboating cross the invisible line from skill to disrespect. They exploit loopholes. The donkey kick and flip throw-in found gaps in the rulebook that officials quickly closed. They cause violence. Kerlon's seal dribble resulted in elbows. Low headers result in boot-to-face contact. Football has always been torn between two identities: the beautiful game that celebrates creativity and the competitive game that demands respect and safety. When a skill becomes too creative, too effective, or too humiliating, authorities step in. Not always because the rules say they should, but because they can. The donkey kick won goal of the season and got banned immediately. Kerlon's seal dribble made him a YouTube star and ended his career through injury. Neymar's rainbow flick delights millions and earns yellow cards. The message is clear: be creative, just not too creative. Express yourself, but respect the unwritten rules about humiliation. Play beautifully, but know that beauty has limits. Football authorities are willing to enforce. And that's the real controversy, not the skills themselves, but football's eternal struggle between encouraging flair and protecting egos.